So we're basically talking about them kind of being really harsh for a while to all of the supporting characters that are around them. From Emma Thompson, as character, we were kind of used to her being an asshole throughout the entirety of the runtime, but then Cruella becomes more like that as well, right? And the plot then involves the side characters, Jasper and Horace, didn't really add up to me because they do get kind of pissed off at how she treats them. But then they get mad after she almost dies, and then they almost try to shun her for a while. And that should have come earlier. And after she almost died, I think they would have already been back to like, yo, this is kind of serious. We got to help you out. It felt like it was at the wrong moment. Yeah. But maybe we'll get back to that. But Lachlan, before we, I guess, talk about spoilers, could you, in a spoilery fashion, sum the movie up for us?
Yeah, of course, man. So a young seer is expelled from school, as obviously she is an evil person, and her, air quotations, mother has had the hounds, like Mr. Burns saying, release the hounds, Smithers, at her, and she dies. And then Cruella is set into form where she becomes, Estella becomes Cruella. She's a fashion designer. Jazz hands, yeah. She's a fashion designer, which should tell you quite a bit about her, because obviously the most interesting parts of the movie industry is fashion. And every time there's a fashion movie, it's like the whole fucking in fashion world is like a dog eat dog world. I'm assuming it is, right?
Gotta be.
You gotta be, right?
Yeah.
So Cruella becomes friends with 2 pickpockets and a dog with 1 eye. Now, my only question before we get more into this discussion is, did the dog make the eye patch, or did the dog come with the eye patch? Like, was it like a back? I want to know the backstory. I don't give a fuck about Cruella. I want to know how this dog got its eye caught out, and then the dog did it like sew a fucking eye patch and like chuck it on its face, and then it was known as Wink. Or was he born like that and they gave him the eye patch?
It really depends on when they got the dog, because I think if they got the dog and it already had the eye patch and then they just called him Wink, that would make a lot of sense. Otherwise, I feel like the way that the characters are, it's probably a stray dog. So he had to fend for himself. He opened a bunch of doors. He was able to be a fabulous rat. So I just assumed that he probably patched it up himself. He probably also got the needle and stitched it up himself. I just imagined that dog to be that kind of person.
So I think the best way for me to summarize the movie is with my notes that I have here, Ewan.
Yeah.
So no one else can see this, but I'm going to have to use my verbal words to explain this, okay? So the title is Cruella DeVille, which I wrote up there. And then next to it is a little drawing I made of Cruella, but she turned into that octopus lady from
The Little Mermaid.
From The Little Mermaid, that's it. So Ewan, I then, I wrote overall mediocre, and then I wrote, but I enjoyed this movie, and then I said Emma Thompson and Emma Stone are great, but then I was also like, well, what other Emma could I put it in it? So Emma Watson, right? So with Emma, so hang on, follow with me here, okay?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, right. So Emma Watson, Emma Stone, and Emma Thompson, right? So Thompson beats Watson, but Emma beats Thompson. But
which Emma
Watson,
beats Thompson?
Fuck, because I tried to make like a rock, paper, scissors game out of it, and I realized I fucked up. Like Thompson, Stone, Watson, right?
Yeah,
but no, I can't. No, anyway, moving on. I started drawing, right? Because I was like, oh, I'm very interested in this movie, and I made a piece of art. There you can see that. Ewan, I drew you, so that's you with a kilt on.
Nice.
And some. Hang on, I didn't make them Nikes. I'm so sorry.
Why am I the guy? Why am I Jason Bateman from?
Hang on.
Thunder Force. Why do I have? Yeah, can you explain my hands?
Because so you've got crab hands, right? And so we know that it's you. You've got a letterboxed jumper on, okay?
Yeah.
Right? But it's not a real one. You made it yourself. You fucking
like I did artist. In real life. Yes.
Yep. And then you've got a hat on and you've got headphones on. And I gave you claw hands because I wanted you to be like Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget.
Gotcha.
All right. And again, you have a kilt for no reason. So that's just me being a fashion designer. And then as we come down, we've got my favorite quote from the movie. Well, that was rude. Well, it's not seeming like a lot of fun. My Crispies are on the floor.
Yeah, that was my favorite.
Best line in the film. Best line. Good. My Crispies are on the floor. All right. The music was awesome. However, was a little on the nose, and then I drew a nose there. Maybe I should just, make sure everyone can see this. I should screenshot this so everyone can see it, and you could post it anyway. And then I wrote CGI everything, and then in the little corner, it's a mixture of my thoughts and feelings, right?
Yeah.
So I wrote evil in an evil handwriting,
Right.
and then because I'm evil, I drew an asteroid hitting the Earth, and then I wrote parachute skirt because she has a parachute skirt.
Does have a parachute
because
skirt.
the way we're going to save the planet being hit by an asteroid is by putting a parachute skirt on the asteroid, which I haven't gotten to drawing yet. That's how we're going to Deus Ex Machina this shit. And those are my notes for Cruella de Vil.
Just make sure it's not the same material that she uses to reveal her one of her clothes when she first goes to the
red
party.
one where it catches fire?
Yeah, make sure the parachute isn't made of that material because it would look great on the meteoroid, comet coming down, but it will probably destroy the Earth still. Yeah, I think it should destroy the world with fashion though. So we should definitely style it out if we get the chance.
100%.
But yeah, thank you so much for the really
You're welcome.
Colorful and imaginative summary. I don't know how myself and the Letterboxd hoodie got into the mix with Cruella, and I guess no rock paper scissors today. I think we could figure this out. We could figure this out on how that would work. But the Stone definitely beats Watch. But then Watson. Sorry, I was thinking because Watson's a brand of watch.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Thompson is down in the ground, so she's Earth. She's like a tomb. So that's Thompson, or maybe Stompson. So she stomps on things. I know. I guess we can't make that work for some reason. Anyways, moving on. But yeah. So I guess we already talked about the best moments from it, which we are in agreement was that Crispy's moment.
Crispy's line, yeah.
It was so funny. But do we have any worst moments where stuff just didn't work out to, I guess, shit on the film a bit? I think for me it is kind of the parachute moment. I was laughing out loud because it was so ridiculous.
Parachute was really dumb. Really dumb.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
I don't know. I think one of the worst moments would probably be, I think at the end, when it's between Cruella and the Baroness, there's a particular shot where it looks very much green screened. And I think any time it was like the CG was just not up to a standard where the movie. I mean, look, I wouldn't pick the CGI if the movie wasn't boring when it wasn't them acting their hearts out because they were trying to be all sweet and stuff. Mm-hmm. So anytime Estella was on, I was kind of bored because I wanted to see Cruella, and the Baroness was trying to be sweet in that scene. So I really focused more on the extra stuff that was around. So for me, I think there's not really a moment that was bad per se, but I feel like there are a lot of good scenes, a lot of mediocre scenes, and then the entire movie ends up being mediocre, and you're kind of like, oh, okay, but there's nothing bad other than overall pacing and editing.
Yeah, I guess we could touch on the pacing and the runtime as well, because this movie clocks in at 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah,
135 minutes long, so it is quite a long movie, and I do think it overstays its welcome quite a bit. I guess the introduction stuff is really important later on for what they try to do. But at some point, I thought the movie was about to end, and then I checked, and there was another 40 minutes left, which was a bit surprising. So I think in the latter half of towards the end of the second act, maybe beginning of third act, you could cut some things out that was just a bit repetitive, of like Cruella sticking it up to the Baroness. I think that was a bit repetitive, and it definitely has that. In a sense, it's Cruella de Vil meets Prada in a lot of it. I mean, this in that fashion world, and it's just, I guess, a lesser version of that. It feels somewhat not really original, and the originality that comes in with like, ooh, you were the parent. I think you thought that for a while. Mark Strong's character, John the Valet, that he would be the parent. For some reason, you called that out really early on, but I guess you did call out that there would be a fake out twist where there would be a parent revealed at the end. And I think that's really cheesy because it has to imply that, okay, maybe there's a redeemable factor to the bad guy, but then we see that she's actually truly evil, making our protagonist, who's more of like an antagonist overall in the story to the other characters, seem more like she is the good person, which at the end of the day, I think she's also an asshole. And they maybe could have leaned even more into that. But we'll see. Maybe they set it up for a potential sequel. So it could just be that. I mean, they do set it up with the two Dalmatians being sent to the lawyer guy and the journalist person. And I think those are the names of the original Dalmatians that are in the 101 Dalmatians.
101.
So they might be setting something like that up in the future where she becomes the straight up villain of a movie. What did you think about the daughter plot, that whole storyline?
Hey, I told you. I predicted it. I knew that's kind of where they're going. I definitely thought it was going to be Mark Strong. Guess it was not. Again, actually, Ewan, we completely forgot the cardinal sin of this movie.
Which was?
They gave Mark Strong hair.
Yes.
No. He is not Mark Strong with hair. He is Mark Strong.
It is Mark Strong with a strong
weak.
head. Yeah, he is Mark Weak, yes.
Hair makes you weak, right? If you're in a fight, someone could grab your hair. Mark Strong is strong. He doesn't have hair because he knows if he gets in a tussle, he has the advantage. If he has to run, there's no, the hair isn't holding him back because it's weighing him down or it's not resistant. It's just a smooth fucking head.
You know what? Him having hair, he wouldn't have been able to save Cruella from the fire. Because of the air resistance with his hair, it would have been too thick, just not aerodynamic enough. His head was perfect, so he could go in head first with his bald head, go under the smoke and carry her out. Also, he's stronger because he's bald. So yeah, I rest my case. We rest our case, actually. And what the fuck were you thinking, Disney?
Yeah.
That is not okay.
So Mark Strong beats Mark Wahlberg, but Mark Wahlberg beats Mark Hamill, but Mark Hamill beats Mark Strong because Mark Hamill is a Jedi and Mark Wahlberg owns Wahlburgers. He's just a fucking fast food restaurant owner. Mark Strong and Mark Hamill are the best Marks. Am I forgetting about another Mark? I think I am.
Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, that's a good one. Actually, no, sorry. And then the overall Mark Zuckerberg beats all of them.
He just face smashes them. That's what he does. Yeah. And calls the Winklevoss twins on them.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh god, all the marks out there.
Oh, there's all the marks.
Yeah, I'd probably say that they should have cut like 25% of the movie runtime overall. I think that's a big part of the movie. But I do think it would have done better. Maybe spend a bit more on the relationships if you want to focus that much on her family, like family in quotations. Then should have done that a bit more gracefully. And what else is there? More of the fashion stuff. I think that was the strongest aspect of it. And just get rid of like a third of the music, and you already got a movie that I would enjoy a bit more. Although it did have its moments, I think it was really entertaining at times, maybe for the wrong reasons. I think I enjoyed it also a bit more just because I was watching it with you. So I'll take that into consideration. I don't know if I don't know if you have anything to add when it comes to the spoiler to our spoiler thoughts. Are we ready to wrap it up?
Other than I figured it out. Thompson beats Watson, Watson beats Stone, but Stone beats Thompson. There you go.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I guess maybe at the top of next week's show, we can play a round of Thompson, Watson, Stone.
Watson, Stone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Rolls off the tongue. Thompson, Watson,
Rolls
Stone.
off the tongue.
Yeah. Sounds like a weird sentence. But anyways, what do we arrive at as a rating, Lachlan? Where do you land?
I'm going to give it a... Are we doing out of 5? Yeah?
Out of 10. I do out of 10.
Out of 10, I'm giving it a 5.
Yeah, I'm pretty similar to you there. I'm going with a 4 out of 10. Overall, I think it is worth your while if you are into Disney movies, if you don't mind the recent live action remakes, and you probably even enjoy it more. It's a bit darker than those usually are. There's death. We was really disappointed that they did not curse a single time. There was a perfect opportunity to say bitch.
Yeah, I was waiting for them to do
and
it.
Fuck.
Yeah.
They have one that they can do per PG-13 movie, but I guess they just didn't want to. It was just death and underwear parachute.